Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Time Out with Steven Scott, presented by Baldman Entertainment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, we loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping. With news that's jaw dropping, they're getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening. If you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and ride with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater. You better just let it go when all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Welcome to Sports on Tap. I'm Chris Scott, alongside Joe Waddell and Frank Gigotta. Fellows, how are we?
Doing wonderful. How are you?
You know, doing all right. How you doing after week one?
Rough. No, it was good to get the football underway.
Yes.
But like I said on the game day show, before we left the game day show, it was the last time you would look at your fantasy rosters and your favorite team the same way, and you would have endless optimism until week one. And then certain things just go downhill.
That's true.
And that happened for a lot of fucking people this weekend.
A lot of people that absolutely happened to. This week was absolutely just, it was crazy. Like, honestly, I felt like all the stuff that we talked about on the game day show was just incredibly wrong.
So a lot of our predictions,
Yes.
like game predictions, but a lot of the fantasy advice we doled out on there was not, though. If you look across the board, the majority of the fantasy advice we put out there on that show was pretty damn good.
But like game stuff,
Yeah, I mean,
that's why we're not in Vegas, man.
That's why we're not in Vegas. And I'll tell you, our listeners and us, we should look forward to when Dan is done with his wedding and his honeymoon and everything, because he showed me what he had taken, and he was pretty stellar this weekend.
Was he really?
And I was unbelievably shocked. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck you do it, bro. Like, it was incredible. It was incredible. He's going to be back picking again. It's just he's playing. He was at his bachelor party in Vegas, and then he's got his wedding this weekend, and then I believe the honeymoon right after that. So, couple weeks, and he'll be back at picking. He was going to try and make him this last weekend, but he was at his bachelor party in Vegas, and
Vegas.
Shit kind of happens. So.
Of course.
You're not really thinking about making picks for Sports on Tap Detroit.
No, and I frankly don't blame him for that. So, I mean, whatever. We did the best we could. And
I was completely shocked at how it went for him, because for the majority of people that I know, it didn't go very well at all.
Yeah, it did not go well for either of us, because I know we said hammer the Broncos. Fuck Russell Wilson, by the way.
And fuck Hackett.
Listen. Oh, my God.
If you want to talk about, I know we're going to get into it, and fuck it. Let's just
get into it.
Let's just start it now.
I was going to say we're going there.
I said we talked about this before the show. Let's just do
Let's
it.
Just fucking get into it. The piss poor coaching.
Oh my God.
In-game coaching in the NFL is at an astonishing level.
It really is, and this is not just this year.
No, it's not.
This happens every year, like numerous times a year, to numerous coaches. It's mind-boggling to me.
To have 3 timeouts with a minute left and end up with 2 timeouts, 20 seconds left, and kicking a 64-yard field goal.
When you have a quarterback you pay $250 million to.
256.
What?
But yes, 100% agree with that statement. You have a $256 million quarterback that you just signed.
Yeah. That's right, man. That's right.
You have 3 timeouts.
Yeah.
And you have a minute left. And you use 1 timeout, have 20 seconds left, and try a record-breaking field goal to to win the game. What are you doing?
You also only used the one timeout because the play clock ran out.
Right.
They didn't call the timeout to call the timeout. They used it because they ran out of time on the play clock.
Like they're huddling with 50 seconds left in the game.
Yep.
And then you just see the
fuck are you doing?
And you just see the clock just running and running
And then-
and running. And everybody in America is like, "What are you doing?
What are you
the
doing?
hell are you doing?"
After your kicker missed the kick 3 different times, you turn around and call 2 timeouts after you've turned the ball back over at the end of the game
Yeah, that made
for no
absolutely
fucking
no sense
reason.
to me
But
either.
at that point in time, you're calling 2 timeouts for what?
Yeah.
For what?
Like, I get it. You're hoping he fumbles the snap, but that works in middle school. It doesn't work in the pros.
Yeah. I mean, even with Geno Smith, that ain't gonna work.
Geno Smith
Hey,
just
Gino
beat
balled
their
out
ass.
last night. Credit to him, man.
Hey,
Gino balled out last night.
He looked like he knew what he was doing.
he did.
you know,
Granted, I think some of that was on Denver's defense because I didn't think
Denver's defense looked shit.
Yeah, they
poor.
were bad. They
That
were
was
bad
that was
yesterday.
one of the worst showings of a defense I've ever seen.
I mean,
it was just bad.
I know they kind of picked it up in the second half, but that first half,
Not a lot.
they got shredded in the first half.
That
but
offense.
by no name tight ends.
Yeah.
yeah. For real.
By Will Dissly and some dude I never heard of.
It was literally the dude they traded to Seattle.
Well, no. Well, Noah Fant didn't have that big of a get. There was another dude who was.
Oh, there
who
was another
balling-
one?
Yeah,
I
it was
thought you
Will
were talking
Dis-
about Fant. I
No,
was like, no, it's literally the dude they traded to him.
You think I don't know who Noah Fant is?
Hey, man.
But no, it wasn't Noah Fant. It was some other dude who I literally had never heard of.
Okay.
And that takes a lot. It was Will Dissly, some other dude, and Noah Fant, and they were just getting tore up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
These
are
guys
you
were
doing?
like wide open. It felt like the entire game.
wide open.
Wide open.
The other thing I noticed too, and this is going to be a knock on Russ, when you go into a new team, you have every reason in the world to show up to training camp. That entire offense was out of it just because they had no practice together. They had no idea what they were doing going on that field. They had no idea how he worked. They just looked fucking lost.
And I'm going to tell you that offensive line does not look good.
No, they
Oh,
don't.
it does not. And that was his biggest bitch when he was in Seattle.
Yeah.
Is he was tired of running around for his life.
Well, what
Hey,
what did he end up doing?
He's gonna end up running around for his life.
That's what he ended up doing yesterday.
He didn't run very much, though. He got hit pretty quickly most of the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they tried rolling him out, but they tried rolling him out to the opposite side where he was thrown across his body. It's like, what? Why? Roll him out the other
He
way.
looked awful.
It didn't. Now the second half he looked better. The second half it looked like the offense started doing like they started getting it more. And to your point, Frank, that's what preseason's for.
Right.
So if you're not going to go out there in preseason and get the bugs out, well, guess what? Your first game's going to look like shit because that's where you're getting the bugs out.
$256 million. This guy can't show up to fucking training camp. And then goes and does that in game
can't
one.
and can't win week one against your old team, who, by all intents and purposes, should have never been in that fucking game.
And not to mention, he had two delay of game penalties.
Yeah.
That's on him. That's on you, dude.
Yeah.
You've played in that stadium for how long? You know where the play clocks are. I mean, that's on you. Like that's and one of
I
them was
agree.
at the goal line or like inside the 10.
Well, and what's with not being able to hold on to the fucking football?
Oh, geez.
I saw that so
a
much this
lot
weekend. It
of
was
it
it was
this weekend.
ridiculous. Like, all right, that Cincinnati game, Chris, you got that one right. Pittsburgh won that game. Cincinnati gave that game away about 8
yes,
times.
they did.
About
Yes, they
8.
did.
They gave
times.
away the entire first half.
Like Joe Burrow didn't realize what jersey he was wearing,
Nope.
and when it came
When I
to-
saw he had 4 picks, I'm like,
Dude, in our
and a fumble.
and a fumble,
I have him as
and
quarterback.
they still
in our
almost
fantasy
won.
league. Joe Burrow going into halftime in our league only had 5 points. Yeah. So
Well, and you look again, going from one shit show to another one. We go from coaching mistakes.
Wasn't there another
Let-
big coaching mistake this week that we just glossed over?
Well, I mean,
no, there was not an onside kick that was so incredibly poorly called.
I was
that
gonna
it's
say
not
there's-
even fucking funny.
there's Dan Campbell who's going to make a coaching mistake every week.
He lost that game for him.
This is what I don't get. I was watching the game with Lions fans, and he did the
I'm,
onside kick.
I'm sorry about that.
And I just, I was fine for me. I was laughing. I thought it was great. And I saw him do it, obviously, as we all did. And I just started laughing. I'm like, why? You didn't need it. You just scored. Momentum's on your side.
You have all the momentum. You just scored. Like, kick it off,
Plenty of time left.
and play real football. Stop with the gimmicky bullshit.
And see, this is where, and I believe I've said this numerous times, and Joe, I know I think you've agreed with me on this. Is you can be all like rah type coach and all that stuff, and players want to run through a brick wall with you and for you, whatever. But when you do shit like that in games on a consistent basis, they're gonna take all that rah shit and be like, all right, dude, no.
So
get it right on the field.
You maybe have one more opportunity to fuck up like that before you entirely lose.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And I said that.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I disagree in one sense. Caldwell was a player's coach.
Yes,
The players loved Caldwell.
they did.
How many times did he make mistakes during games? All the fucking time.
Yeah, but
He
we're
was
talking
one of the-
about a team that was winning 11 games at that point.
But he was one of the worst on the field coaches you've ever seen. Yes, winning solves that a little bit.
right, I was
because
going to
you win.
say, if you're winning these games and you're fucking up coaching, that's a different
But
story.
I think, but therein lies the point for me anyway. Is like, if you're winning games and you want to do something like that, fine. I don't have an issue with it. When you're not winning games,
Yeah.
and you have not been successful since you've been here, don't do that shit.
Well,
Like, just like you scored, you had all the momentum.
Yep.
And I bet 99% that they stopped them that following drive if they just kicked the ball off and they get the ball back. But no, you gave the ball to Philly at the 50-yard line at midfield, and then what did they do? They marched right down and scored. Like, to me, that just deflates your defense.
Absolutely.
That deflated your defense, and
Absolutely.
then that score screwed you.
and it also tells them that you don't have faith in them.
Yeah, that to me was. If I was a defensive player on that team, I'd have been furious about that call.
And in all honesty, when we're half into the game 1 of the year, that's not the time you call that shit anyways. You got to figure out if this team can make the stop. You've thrown in the towel on them before even giving them the opportunity to.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And not that defense looked like they were going to be world beaters or anything that weekend or this past
No.
weekend, but they deserved an opportunity at least.
I think they were playing well enough to the point where, like I said, they had all the momentum. That stadium was rocking. Mm-hmm. Like, you could hear it over the TV. That stadium was going nuts.
It's exactly what I told you had to happen.
Yeah.
Start off fast.
And they did.
The part I left out that they left out was the staying on them thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you start off fast, that's great. You don't stop immediately.
Apparently, Dan Campbell thinks staying on them is calling a gimmicky onside kick at a point in time where, like, it was not necessary.
not
it was
necessary.
Stupid. Like, there's certain times where the surprise onside kick can work, and it's worked before.
And it worked for you last season.
But again, if you're known for doing those gimmicky things,
They're going to be ready for
they're
it.
going to be ready for you. Like, you've got to pick your opportunities. You can't just be a gimmicky coach all the time. Like, Sean Payton would do that every once in a while.
He did it in the Super Bowl.
He did literally at half.
But every once in a while is the key.
Right.
You never suspected when he was going to do it because he would go 3 or 4 or 5, 6 games and never do a gimmicky play. And then he'd pull out 3 in one game. And then he'd go another 6, 7 game stretch without doing anything.
And I know it's college, but that's exactly what State was doing at one point. State was pulling these fucking crazy plays out of their ass every once in a great while to pull out a win. Different story when you're doing it 8 times a season, though.
Exactly. Well, and that's what happens when I'm sorry, but that's what happens when I'm not sorry actually at all.
I was going to say, why are
That's
you
what-
apologizing?
That's what happens when you're a rah-rah, sis boom ba, run through a wall, fucking, clown of a head coach who is like an 80s wrestler. You have to pull out gimmicky bullshit out of your pockets. Listen, rely on your coaching staff because I'll tell you this, your coaching staff is good.
It is good.
Your coaching staff is very fucking good.
Has the potential to be great.
If you backed off a little bit and let them do their fucking jobs and stayed out of it and didn't throw your gimmicky bullshit in there, maybe they'd actually have won that fucking game. But you're a gimmicky bullshit head coach with Mr. Oh, yeah, brother. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. We're going to bite kneecaps off. Fuck you. Sit the fuck down and let your coaching staff coach. And I'm not even a fan of this fucking team.
Yeah, you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the team as a whole actually did look better. I did. I didn't think they looked great or anything like that.
No.
And I think Philadelphia looked very suspect.
Okay, but
Philadelphia definitely wasn't the team that we were talking about shortly
Okay,
before
but
that.
they showed signs of it. And
They did show signs
The
of it.
reason they were suspect, Chris, you called it. Literally, you sent in the text messages. I saw it. It was, And now Philly's going to play that prevent defense.
And that's exactly what they did.
And they let you back into the game.
And Detroit's going to get back in the game. And what happened? They played a prevent defense. Detroit got back in the game. It's exactly what I said. Detroit will get down. They'll come back.
Yep.
They'll lose by a little bit. Give everybody some hope because, they came back. They fought hard.
That's what they do
They
literally every time they win.
It's been the MO for the last 2 years now. Like, it's
the same fucking thing over and over and over.
That's what they do. I expected nothing less.
Besides stupid coaches' decisions, there's like two things, just football in general, that I don't understand.
Why
That-
Jared Goff's an NFL quarterback?
Can I get one of these things out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Fucking kickers!
Well, that's number 3 then. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
I only have one question. Are we going to talk about how Jared Goff's still an NFL quarterback? Because he shouldn't be.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that.
Sorry.
But
It's one of the biggest Jared Goff haters right there. He's not going to disagree with you.
But like we just talked about, why do teams insist? And this isn't just in football. This is in sports in general, especially hockey. Why do teams they feel it necessary to sit back and play like what we said, prevent and win defense?
Yeah, it's prevent and win
I don't
defense.
understand it. It's never fucking made sense to me. If you have a lead for a reason, keep doing what you're doing. Why are you trying to let teams back in the game? That just gives them momentum. That gives them hope. And sometimes it comes back to bite you in the ass. And it almost did.
It almost did, and that's the problem. You're up on that team for a reason, right? So you keep doing what you're doing. Why are you going to stop doing what got you the lead? Why are you going to stop doing
understood it.
what kept that team from scoring originally? You're going to back away and just try to not let the big play up. What happens? They march it all the way down the field on you, and then your back is against the goal line, and you're fucked. So I still don't understand that. We talk about this all the time. I don't understand why coaches continue to coach like that. I don't get it.
The other thing I didn't understand about that game, and I know I'm not the only one who saw this, they couldn't stop Hurts when he was moving.
They couldn't.
Like,
If they needed a third down and he was just
that's all
run
he
and
had
get
to
it.
do. Honestly, if I'm Sirianni, all I'm calling are QB rollouts.
Yeah, that's another
Go
one.
out, go to the right. Go out, go to the left. Go to the right, go to the left. Fuck it. They can't stop you that way.
My other thing besides kickers is, can we please stop lining up in shotgun on 3rd and 4th and short? It makes
You're putting yourself further away from
it makes no sense to me.
It's 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2.
You're 7
and
yards
you,
back.
and you put yourself 6
Yeah.
extra yards back.
I don't get it. And then you're
I
going to
don't
run it right up the
understand.
middle.
I don't understand.
Okay.
It either.
And hope you get to the line
And hope
before the
you-
line's
right.
gotten pushed 3 yards back.
When they know you're going to run it.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, that's another thing. Never fucking made sense to me. And I don't know why teams in college and the NFL continue to do it. I don't get it. Unless, if you're going to like try to get to the outside from that formation, okay. I can somewhat see it, especially on 3rd down. I get it. But if you're just going to take that and then just run it up the middle or off tackle,
You know who did that incredibly well this weekend? Was Tampa. When Tampa, outside of the red zone,
Yeah.
because once they got to the red zone, Tampa couldn't do shit.
yeah, sounds like the Broncos yesterday.
Outside of the red zone, Tampa was, obviously Tom was in shotgun, and they were working the outsides, and they were able to break off some huge runs with Fournette, even at damn near 300 pounds.
Right.
You're breaking off 20, 30-yard runs. That's what you're hoping for in those situations.
And obviously, to the third point, we were talking kickers, man. Kickers. Like, seriously, I watched it this entire weekend, college and pro. And there was so many missed kicks.
Hold on. We have a representative of the brand.
Yeah,
here.
for the brand. Fuck off.
For the brand.
Listen, the brand's in hard times right now, guys. I don't know what to say.
I mean, okay.
Rodrigo's unemployed at this point.
At least you're not trying to defend it.
No.
At this point. All right.
What am I
I'm all right
supposed to
with that.
defend?
All right. I'm good with that. I'm not saying it's an easy job, okay? But what I'm saying is,
borderline embarrassing.
it is your job.
It is.
Peyton said it perfectly last night, and I don't mean this disrespectfully because I know a lot of people who did kick. Some of them further on, some of them not, whatever. The kickers go to practice for 20 minutes, and then stand there doing nothing.
Of course.
Now, I saw that in high school. I'm sure it's no different in college. And if Peyton's saying it about the pros, then clearly it's the exact same in the pros. No offense to McManus. You just missed 364-yard field goals when I hear constantly that you're the guy who can make those.
No, actually, Tucker's the guy that can make those.
McManus has got one. He's got, what did he hit, 63, 64? And out in Denver, you've got that different error.
Isn't 60, what is the record?
66.
66 is the record,
Yeah, and that's Tuck.
Yeah.
But if you're missing consistently from that distance and that's your thing, why aren't you practicing it? So when it comes down to
especially if your idiot head coach is going to make you kick it from 64 yards when he could have called timeout.
Rather
He could have
than-
gone for it on fourth and 5.
going with your $2.5 million or $250 million quarterback.
56.
Whatever.
Yeah, 256.
Listen, I was just trying to get the right numbers out of my mouth at that point.
250.
It almost said 2.5. Yeah. But yeah.
Jesus. Nice.
Not sure where that came into play, but yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like playing something.
Well, you know who else hates kickers?
Jason Stillner from Flag.
You know that's right.
Is this factual, though?
Oh, he hates kickers. 100%.
Okay.
If you're a homeowner or looking to be a first-time home buyer, give Jason Stiltner, Senior Loan Officer at Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631. Jason has great mortgage programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance options and excellent interest rates. Again, give my guy, Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631 and get the excellent service you deserve. Flagstar Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546.
No, I sound drunk.
I thought I did that pretty good.
There you go.
There you go. Nice.
Oh, shit.
Nice. Nicely done.
No, that was the one I should have played for Frank when he was over there stumbling with
I was waiting for the today, Junior.
Today, June. All right, so sticking with the NFL, biggest surprise of the weekend.
Wow.
How bad the Cowboys look kind of surprised me.
Yeah, they did not look good.
That didn't surprise me at all.
I didn't
honestly.
expect them to look that bad, though.
I didn't either because I actually picked them to win that game. What surprised me more was that Tampa didn't look as bad as I thought they were going to look after their preseason.
Speaking of Tampa, I won't be here next week. Tom needs me.
You're going to be in Tampa. You're going to be in Tampa.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Tampa. Tom needs me at this point.
What surprised me was the amount of games with large spreads where teams were supposed to win that just shit the bed.
Okay.
Like the amount. Not that it happened. Not that,
Right.
because it happens. It's the NFL. We talked about it on
For
Sunday.
sure.
It's the amount of those games that happened. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was insane.
It was across the board. Even Saturday was working out that way.
I told you guys before the show started. So I'm in a survivor pool, 12 people. There's only 3 left after week 1. That's unheard of. That doesn't happen. Like 3 fucking people out of 12 made it through to the next week. That's insane. And one of the other things is it always happens 1 week in fantasy football. It's usually not week 1. And it's the amount of name players that laid fucking almost goose eggs compared to the amount of guys that weren't even on fucking rosters.
Right.
In a 14-team league, let alone a 12 or a 10, and put up big points. Like that's unusual too. Like week 1, and you have so many name players just laying shits on the
Now,
field.
do you think that's a product of not playing any preseason
I think it's a
games?
product of preseason, yeah. Okay. I absolutely do. All right. And it's a product of, so the NFL, unlike, say, Major League Baseball, where they're more forthcoming with injuries. The MLB.
the Major League Baseball.
The Major League Baseball. The NFL can hide things, and they do hide things.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, for
They do,
example, Alvin Kamara. Nobody knew he had a rib injury going into that game. But guess what? After the game's over with, everyone's like, why didn't you use Alvin Kamara? They're like, oh, he's got a rib injury. Oh. Well,
Great.
My fantasy squad would like to fucking know that before the game fucking started. I'm just throwing that one out there.
My fantasy squad.
And in the event he wasn't hurt, there's also the possible suspension coming in a couple of weeks on top of it.
It won't happen until next year.
I hope you're right. Not that I have him for fantasy, but I hope you're right.
Right. That won't happen until next year.
Most surprising loss to you this weekend?
Cincy.
Didn't surprise me. I picked Pittsburgh.
I
to
know
win,
it
baby.
You did.
I was sitting here like, yeah, he's drunk. That's fine. And then I'm watching it going, nope, he was spot fucking
Not gonna
on.
lie, when I picked that, I was still kind of drunk the night before.
He was
Like,
still
no
a little
bullshit.
drunk.
That's tough. Give me a minute on that one.
Okay.
Trying to,
Frank,
there
what
was
you got?
there was a lot of surprising ones. On
There was.
There was a lot.
I mean, Cincy, like I said, Cincy was the one that I expected. I didn't expect the all-out Cincy team from the end of last year because I know there's that Super Bowl hangover and everything. But I wasn't expecting things to look as ugly as they did for that game.
Right.
Obviously, we talked about it. The Eagles looked disappointing to me. I really expected them to, I don't want to say give a shellacking to the Lions, but that should have been a much different game. Than it ended up
like
being.
we talked about earlier when we were talking about that game in particular, I do feel if they didn't play the prevent a win defense, it would have been an ass kicking.
Yeah.
It would have been.
I believe that.
The one I'll tell you the one that surprised me the most was San Francisco and Chicago.
The only reason I did not pick that one is because of how bad the weather was.
so
Yeah.
the weather was bad.
The only reason I'm
horrendous.
not saying nothing about that game is because of how
the
bad
weather
that
was horrendous.
Was.
So I was thinking about that one. I was gonna go.
But still,
with
to
it.
me, if you're the more talented team,
yeah.
the weather's bad. You're both playing in the same weather. So, like, you're the more talented team. You were supposed to win that game. You're favored by 6.5.
Yeah.
Go in there and pull out the win. Do what you have to do. Run the football. What you do best.
Right.
And yet, for some reason, coaching or whatnot, Chicago was able to take over that game. And in a game where you really can't look at either quarterback and really judge much, and I know everyone wants to judge these two quarterbacks, and I'm saying give it another week or two because that weather is just not fair to anybody to judge them.
No.
Wait, so we're not supposed to overreact week one?
Well, that's the other thing.
Yeah,
But
right.
the main thing is, I mean, just that weather alone. Like even if you overreact to some week one stuff, like that weather alone should get you to go, all right, let's take that game out of the equation and let's let them see. Let's see how they play in other conditions. But I give Justin Fields credit in that one for actually making some plays in that game where on the other side of the ball, Trey Lance did not.
Nope.
Trey Lance did not. And again,
That's what I was just gonna say, too.
Trying to forgive the weather and give both those guys an opportunity because neither one of them looked great. Justin Fields stepped up and made some plays, whereas Trey Lance fucking did not.
When does Jimmy G become the starter?
2 more weeks of that.
Fair.
And honestly, I think Jimmy G's going to be the starter in 2 more weeks.
I mean, like Joe just said, if he fucking does that shit, yeah, absolutely.
2 more weeks of that.
No, I don't think it's an if. I think the next 2 weeks you will see pretty much the exact same type of Trey Lance. A little bit better because you won't have a fucking monsoon going
Right.
on. But no, I think Jimmy G,
Okay.
I'll say week 5 to be conservative, but by week 5, Jimmy G is starting.
Fair.
Well,
And I also feel the same way about Tennessee. If Tannehill doesn't step it up, Wills is taking over.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Tennessee because that was it was between Indianapolis and Tennessee for me as like the most disappointing team in week 1.
like I said, there was a fucking lot.
There was a lot. And
whole
again,
AFC.
I don't want to overreact to anything, but these were the two that kind of stood out to me because especially Indianapolis. You got Matt Ryan, you're supposed to be, the class of that division or at least up there anyway. And you go down to Houston, which I'm saying that's a bad football team.
It's not a good football team.
And
The
you
only-
tie
the-
'em?
The only thing I'll give Houston is that the players on that team, be it whether they're as good as the other players on
Yeah.
the opposing team or not, they have some fight in them, and I give them credit for that. And they're fighting for Lovie Smith, and I like that about that team. But Indianapolis, at what point in time do we got to look at Frank Reich and go, "You're not getting it done, bro"?
I thought you were the quarterback whisperer, bro.
You're well, and but again, in-game coaching. Some of the in-game coaching mistakes with him, you can't forgive at a certain point. Like you can forgive him to a certain point because he says and does all the right things as a coach, right? With Dan Campbell, we're jumping on it day one almost and going,
Right.
all right, this is fucking stupid. This is fucking stupid. This is fucking stupid. With Frank Reich, it's taken some time, but you seem to be a good coach that makes these mistakes also. So at a certain point in time, you can't be forgiven for those either.
Well, to that end was with Tennessee. When is the start time? Time to start pointing the finger at Mike Vrabel. I know you're a Vrabel
Now.
guy.
Now, absolutely now. Listen, I love Vrabel,
I know you do.
and I think he again going back to the hire over Matt Patricia. I thought he was the main guy to
that
get
would've-
out of there.
That would have been the better choice. I
and
agree
listen,
100%.
Absolutely.
to this point, Vrabel has gotten that team to exceed. Like that team has exceeded expectations.
And you can't tell me that A.J. Brown was the only reason they were doing that.
No.
And that's really the only dominant loss
But
they
at
had
a-
on the offensive side of that ball.
But at a certain point, these losses that you keep having to teams you shouldn't lose to are glaring, and you have to look at them.
And that's why I think they're going to shut down Tannehill. And we talk about this every time his name comes up, how much you enjoyed him, how much, like, I was very high on the dude when he came out.
Well, and by all intents and purposes, he has not done poorly in Tennessee.
No, he hasn't.
But if you've got a kid like Malik Willis back there,
And where that team is,
Who actually looked really, really good when he actually got in the game.
And you're at, I don't want to call you a team that's at a rebuilding point, but 2 more weeks of bad play, you need to give him these reps
Oh, absolutely.
to move forward.
Because you just
He
not only
needs
did
to
you
get
just
the
lose to the
experience.
Giants, but you're going to Buffalo this coming weekend.
Yeah.
I look at
That's going to be so bad.
I look
I
at
don't know, man.
Tennessee.
I don't know.
I look at Tennessee a little bit differently than I do San Fran. So San Fran, you're going to have on Tennessee, you've got players that are behind Tannehill. Like he's taking them places, right? So so they're going to stick with Tannehill a little longer.
Yeah.
Trey Lance on San Francisco, you've got players in that locker room that went to a Super Bowl with Jimmy G. And you've got Trey Lance starting instead of him. And if he makes these mistakes 2 more weeks in a row and he looks like shit 2 more weeks in a row, you're going to have an upheaval of that locker room.
Oh, absolutely.
Saying, get Jimmy G back in his fucking under center because we still have playoff hopes and Super Bowl hopes, and you're starting this kid. No, You're ruining a year of our possible run here. Don't do that.
If we are judging just based off of Sunday, looking at last year's rookie quarterbacks, Davis Mills the best one.
Yeah.
You know, just speaking from a complete overreaction standpoint,
Yeah.
Davis Mills is your best quarterback. There's no reason top 3 guys who were drafted, Wilson, Lawrence, and Trey Lance, there's no reason that they should be getting outplayed,
Right.
much less your Justin Fields, Mac Jones on top of it. Like, the way all these guys are playing right now, this quarterback class that was so hyped up, it's been a bust.
I mean, so far, yeah. It's hard to say it hasn't been. Frank, I actually agree with you.
I can't disagree with that at all.
You know, again, speaking from an overreaction week 1 standpoint,
Right.
But
Well, and speaking from a week 1 in the second year of their careers,
Yeah.
where sometimes they do take a step back because people have figured them out, then you got to readjust.
Right.
But to Davis Mills' credit, I mean, he didn't look like a second year quarterback out there. He actually looked pretty good. So, to that statement, I agree with you.
yeah.
Now, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no,
Frank. No,
you're
go
good.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, the other thing I was going to say is following Mills up on that list is Justin Fields. That's where the problem comes in for me.
Your favorite player.
So if we're looking at 1 and 2 being those 2 guys in that draft class, and I know you guys really wanted to steer into the whole shit Ski was giving me at the draft, but I didn't see it this weekend from Lawrence again.
Fair.
I'm just going to keep sitting here and saying it because I want to be wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
don't get me wrong.
beg for this kid to prove
I've
me
made it
wrong.
a point to never watch Jacksonville Jaguars games, so I can't say how he looked or not. All I see is what I see is on Red Zone. That's about
That's
it.
that. I mean, that's what I.
And you don't see him on Red Zone, so
Fair enough. There you go. So, like I said, I make it a point to not watch Jaguars games.
And that's what I saw is what I saw on Red Zone because I'm the same way as you right
Yeah.
now. I don't watch any individual games.
No.
Other than for about.
I mean,
a half-
obviously my teams I'll watch,
Well,
but
other than it, right. I don't even watch my teams on Sundays. I don't watch any regular game. I watch Red Zone. That's it until the late games.
see, that's what I generally have 2 TVs. I have my team on one, and then I'll have Red Zone on the other. But speaking of our teams, Joe, we'll start off with you. What did you think of how your Browns looked? The Baker revenge game.
So the biggest thing I'll take out of that is, I mean, they shouldn't have won. They did. And the reason they won is a big reason why they lost a bunch of games in the last few years. Kicker. I'm dead fucking serious.
I know you are.
I'm dead fucking serious. They finally have a kicker that can actually make a fucking kick.
There you go.
Congratulations. Like the kicker
Hey,
actually
you
did his job.
your job.
He did his job,
good work.
and they won the game. And in years past, that would have been a loss.
Yeah.
Because they would have had a kicker that wouldn't have made that fucking kick.
Fair enough.
It's true.
But like overall, other than that, how did you feel they looked?
Hold on, I got to read this for a second. Jeremy Jankowski jumped in here. He says, overreaction when right isn't an overreaction, just more of an early prediction. I like that one.
Solid.
Jeremy says Hunt looked amazing. He did. So he I mean,
look very good.
Hunt always looks good, right? And when you mix him in with Nick Chubb, so Nick Chubb had 22 carries for I think 164 yards. What I say was going to happen on Sunday.
Was Raylan wearing her Chubb jersey?
No, I didn't have her this weekend, so no. But she'll be wearing it this next Sunday for sure.
Nice.
She'll be wearing it here.
That's right.
Upstairs in the studio
Oh,
while we're doing the show. So you'll get to see Raylan next weekend.
I was gonna
on Sunday.
just ask that.
Yeah. So she'll be here with us on Sunday doing the game day show. But yes,
I still think we should ever pick a game.
I'm going to. Absolutely.
Nice.
That's going to be an every other week thing when she's here.
I dig it.
Yeah. So anyway, the run game looked good, and Hunt mixed in with the passing attack coming out of the backfield. He's not always going to get those 2 touchdowns, but that looked good on the box score for him. He's a dynamic player. They did exactly what I said was going to happen. They ran Nick Chubb down their throats, and went with that again.
Chubb down the throat.
Chubb down the throat. So yeah, I mean that was their game plan, and it's going to be their game plan until Deshaun Watson comes back. It's going to be run Nick Chubb, run Nick Chubb, run Nick Chubb, toss it out of the backfield to Kareem Hunt, and
just manage.
Yeah, that's it. That's going to be their game plan.
And then hopefully, if all else fails, Peoples-Jones is somewhere to be found.
And they pulled out the win.
Yeah.
And I'm happy about that. That's great. I'm not happy with the team overall with what they did this offseason, but a win is a win, and I'll take it. Because every win they can get before Deshaun Watson comes back is just a plus.
Now, how funny would be, say the Browns have, they're like 2 or 3 games above 500 when Watson gets back, right? Mm-hmm. And then Watson comes back, and they just
look like shit.
They just look like absolute dog shit.
It's not far fetched because listen, he hasn't played football in
2 years.
What's gonna be going on 2 years.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's absolutely a possibility.
It is a possibility, and it's a possibility that all Browns fans, including myself, need to come to the realization about. Which I have. I have. I've discussed.
From what you've told me, most Brown fans are like, no, we're going to the Super Bowl. Once he gets back, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Half of them.
Fair.
66%. The other 33% are still upset with the decision and don't want it to happen. I'm in the middle there because I'm rooting for him. I think Deshaun Watson's a great quarterback. I don't think he's going to suck when he comes back. I just didn't want it to happen.
Right.
So he's here. He's on the team. When he comes back, I'm still going to root for the team. If they go to the Super Bowl, I'll be happy as a pig in shit. Hopefully he doesn't miss a step. Hopefully when he gets back to practicing, he can get back up to speed and he won't miss anything. But there is the possibility he's going to be rusty as shit.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely factual.
I was just going to compare it to what Trey Lance did this past weekend. Trey Lance also has been out for almost 2 entire years. It's going to be an adjustment period when these guys come back.
I mean, shit, we were talking about just like these players missing preseason games and how rusty they look. Mm-hmm. Shit, you missed 2 years, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's that game speed. It doesn't get slower.
And
No.
It doesn't get slower.
Nope.
Away from the game.
Yeah.
It's not like he's been practicing and not play. He's been away from football altogether.
I'm actually very intrigued to see how that plays out when he does come back. I mean, obviously we got a ways to go, but we shall
Got quite a
see.
few weeks to go.
We do.
And if Cleveland can hold their own in these games.
Which I think
and
they will. I think their defense is going to be good enough to do
Their
that.
defense it looks like it's going to be good enough this year. Their defense has been suspect in years past.
As long as Myles Garrett, that dude's a freak, man. Good Lord.
He's one of my favorite
That dude's
players.
a
He's one of my
freak.
favorite players on the planet.
Say as long as Mason Rudolph stays on the sidelines, I think Garrett's fine.
Well, and that's the whole thing. That's what I love. Like Myles Garrett is one of the most quiet, soft-spoken athletes
He
you'll
is.
ever see. And that was one of the most weird things that came
really
out of left
was.
field for him to do. But like that's what he's remembered for.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
yet-
why I say that
right.
situation
Oh, I know.
specifically, because it's not like, well, as long as some left tackle doesn't come.
Well,
No, as long as that one guy doesn't shoot his mouth off and say exactly what the fuck he said,
right, and
he
that's,
will be fine.
And that's what I love about Myles Garrett, though, is like he literally just goes in and does his business.
Yeah.
Like he's not a trash talker. You're not going to see a bunch of news clips about him. You're not going to see headlines about what he said after the game or anything. Like you're not going to see that shit.
He was first overall, right?
Yeah.
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 So for a guy in his position, and granted, defensive players who get drafted that early tend to be a little bit different. but you get this prima donna type person that gets drafted first, second, third overall. Yeah, so the fact that they ended up with what seems like a decent human being who wants nothing more than to just beat the shit out of people on the football field, that's what you got to hope for.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Frank, Raiders, go.
The Raiders.
Offensive line's going to be a problem, and I didn't get to watch the game. I didn't watch Red Zone. So the only question I got for the two of you is, did the Chargers try to cover Devontae, or what the fuck happened there?
Or is just that? It's like, well, it's just like the Packers. Did they try to cover Justin Jefferson? I mean,
Devontae looks like just had a field day.
He did.
Everybody else was fucking useless,
Right.
but yeah, he just. I figured he'd be the one guy getting all the attention. Everybody else would be getting the touches, but
In today's NFL, it seems like the great receivers can't be covered, even if you double them. The great receivers are just going to find a way to get open, and the scheming is going to find a way to get them open. You look at who had big weekends. Look, Cooper Kupp. After last year, you tell me?
Julio.
Yeah, well, he didn't have a big
not
weekend.
a big weekend. But compared to what he has done and the way
Yeah.
he looked in that first game, I'm expecting big things from Julio this season.
I think you might want to reel in those expectations. He still looked a little old. Listen, I said on the Sunday show he's not as washed as people think he was.
I definitely agree with that.
But I wouldn't expect those big things.
I'm not talking Julio career numbers. Big
Okay.
things.
All right.
I'm
I was gonna
talking
say- all right.
like for a guy who was washed up last year, you're going to
Or-
get a top 20 receiver potentially, maybe
Well,
a
that's-
top 30 receiver
And
potentially.
especially if Godwin is hurt again, which he is. Godwin's going to be out a couple
Was
weeks.
he ever not hurt though?
Well, I think they rushed him back from
Yeah.
from that injury.
And that's exactly what I think.
and
it was.
and that hamstring tightened up on him. I don't think he was ready to go back in. I could be wrong, but
But no, outside of those two things, that's really the only things I picked up from the Raiders game.
okay. Fan.
I think the Raiders are going to be just fine.
I do too.
That they lost that first game, but
we like
they're-
the Chargers. We like them as a dark horse, or even
Yeah.
to win that division outright.
Yeah,
So
the Raiders are going to be just fine.
And it's not like it was a huge question going into the year that the offensive line was potentially going to be an issue. Like you cut your first round draft pick from 3 years ago, who was supposed to be your starting guard. Like at that point, yes, it was a question mark of what was going to happen.
So, speaking of overreactions and one of your teams,
Which one?
the Lions.
Oh, okay.
Back to the Lions for a minute. So there's some people that are overreacting to week one and the invisibility of the first round draft pick of the Lions this year, Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh yeah, I read some of that on the Twitter.com.
He was non-existent.
He was non-existent.
Welcome to the NFL, kid.
So
A little bit of a different ballgame. I think he'll be all right.
I agree. I
it'll
think
be
it's
all right.
I think it's complete overreactions because there's complete overreactions
Yes.
going on right now, right?
Well, you want to go on the complete flip side, talk about Rodriguez. Kid looked like a fucking all-world middle linebacker out there.
That kid he's got good motor and pad level.
Yeah, what he said. But like, do I genuinely think that?
almost got
Do I genuinely think that he is a better player than Aiden Hutchinson is? No. I think that Philly's offensive line is pretty good, and they were able to contain him for the most part. And I just think you're gonna have to be patient. This kid's got to get used to playing against men.
Well, and so everyone saw that first preseason game, and he chased the guy. He chased
that
the guy
first
down
snap
from.
was beautiful.
He chased the guy down from behind. Second snap, he made a tackle in the backfield. Everyone's like, "Oh man, two straight plays. First two plays, this guy's gonna be great." And then he comes out week one, and his debut. He was graded 120th out of 121 in pass rush for edge defenders. And then his run grade was better. He was 25th out of edge rushers out of 121. His overall grade was 82nd out of 124 that were graded. So when you look at it, not great,
No.
especially in the pass rush, which is what you got him there for.
Right.
But again, week one, let's not rush to judgment. There's a lot of people that are on the side of Aiden wasn't going to be that great. And they're out there right now really quick to point these out and say, "Hi, I told you so." Let's reel that in a notch. Let's reel that in, because last year Aaron Rodgers looked like dog shit in Week 1, same as he did this year, and he went out and won the MVP. So
That's because he did
let's-
ayahuasca.
let's reel that in, okay? Maybe Aiden Hutchins is gonna go do that. I don't know, but I mean,
I hope he calls me. I'm down. Let's go.
but when it comes down to it, let's not overreact. Let's let these players play out a little bit and not jump on the bandwagon of just beating down a rookie who had a bad first game. I mean, chill.
But I will agree with you. He was non-existent. Out
He
there.
was.
Like, we're not going to run from that point. You are 100% right talking about this game. But going forward, yeah, things are going to be a little bit different.
Yeah. And here I am defending a fucking lion. What am I doing?
No, but you're absolutely right to defend him because it's factual. It's like chill, like let him get his bearings under him. It's a different level. It's just a completely different level of football that you're playing. It just is.
Right. And could these people
Guys are stronger. Guys are faster. Simple as that.
Well, and could these people who say he's not going to amount to anything, or he's not going to live up to the number one pick that could they be right? Yeah, they could.
Absolutely.
They absolutely could. But I think right now is way too early to jump on that
After one game?
on that fucking on his back and
After one game, it's just ignorant to say that.
And then on top of that, who was he lined up against in the preseason? Like, I don't know specifically who he was. Who he
I don't
had
know.
to beat
I think that was
first
that was
game.
Atlanta that he
Okay.
made those 2 plays against. I think.
So we're talking about a group of men competing for jobs at that point.
Right.
We're not talking a locked in.
Left
we're not
tackle.
talking the Lions' offensive line, which is set the way it is.
Right.
We're talking a team that literally has built their line through those 3 games.
Right.
So yeah, potentially the guy he was lined up against is no longer employed with anybody. So yeah, you want to get your hopes up on that. That's fine, but that's why it's preseason.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we spent all this time talking about teams that didn't look good. You know what team does look good?
Ooh, I think I do know. Whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 4 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move with the right group, the Joe Wright Group. Give Craig Joe Wright, Mike Bush, Shane Wilson, and Alex DeRocher a call today. The phone number is 248-535-4750 to fulfill all of your real estate needs.
There you go. Nicely done, Frank.
I wasn't real sure. I'm not used to you throwing it to me. Normally, I got to look at my phone and it's like, Chris,
Do the read.
do the read.
Do the read.
Glad I could help.
I just want to go to a quick note on my team since we haven't gotten to mine.
Yes. Well, we kind of did on
Sunday a little
I was
bit.
going
on
to say
Sunday
we
a
talked a
little
little
bit.
on Sunday.
But
about
yeah, let's get into the Bills.
But you can have your time. Don't worry.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. You guys are so nice.
I just saw a good opportunity for the read.
No,
man.
it was
That's all.
great. That was perfect. I'm glad you did that. It was actually really well done.
High five.
Air high five.
It's pretty simple. Like I said when we looked at the game, when we picked that game last week, I said the Bills were going to have a statement win, and it's exactly what they did. They went to L.A. That was a straight up business trip. They went to L.A., kicked that ass, got back on the plane, flew back to Buffalo. It was great. I loved it. I don't care what anybody says. There is something wrong with Matt Stafford's elbow. Period. There
Yeah.
is. They can say all they want. Oh, it's great.
There's
it looks good,
something
blah, blah, blah.
wrong that the fact that he doesn't throw to his black receivers.
I saw that. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
I'm just gonna keep
Like, really, like, you
I think
idiots
we're
don't have
overthinking
anything
this.
better to do than say shit like this? Really?
It's not the fact that he likes throwing to his white receivers. It's the fact that that specific one looks like his wife.
Yes. And that's actually factual because I can't. I'll never be able to unsee that. But yeah, I loved how they came out in that game. They came out aggressive. They had a game plan and they stuck to it. And you saw the results of that. How many deep passes did Stafford throw? Like 2 that entire game?
If
That's what I'm saying. I think his elbow was jacked.
it's
do.
what I was thinking about the trade that you were offered though, with having their back, like he might see a lot more passing yards just because of that elbow being
short passes? Yeah.
just because his elbow potentially is fucked up, or even for the first couple of weeks he may see it.
Right. But I love how the defense
Well,
played. They
I don't
were
know.
actually able
That
to run the
running
ball.
back is black, so I don't.
I know,
know
right?
I don't know if
Yeah.
he's gonna throw to him.
Yeah, but when Stafford gets hit and the ball goes flying,
Oh, he's
Maybe-
close.
yeah,
He's closest.
he's
to
the
it.
That's
closest.
right.
Yeah, he's closest to it. Yeah.
So
Well,
it's-
so when he's looking for Cooper Kupp or his other white receivers and tight ends, one of the black guys could actually get the fumble or something. Okay, because Matt Stafford is racist.
He's racist, apparently.
Sorry for all of you that don't know. I'm just playing off of the Twitter shit
Oh my
that's
God.
been going
I
on.
seriously,
I'm not even
I saw
on the
that.
Twitter, and I know about this, but
Yeah.
apparently Matt Stafford is racist because he didn't throw to his black receivers and running backs that much. I don't know. It's just stupid, and I like to make jokes about it.
I go right back to the same question I asked you on Sunday, and that is, why is nobody saying this about Tom Brady? Because he factually has only thrown to white receivers.
Other than Randy Moss that 1 year.
Yeah.
Oh, Deion Branch.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he seemed to want to pass to Julio this week. So
There you go.
So we'll give him 3. 2.5.
Well,
Two and a half
he
will
liked
give him.
Antonio Brown when he was saying.
Yeah, he did.
But everybody liked Antonio Brown when he was saying, except John Gruden. John Gruden was like, nah, this guy's out of his fucking mind.
Jeremy said he's going to bring back his sidearm floater, a.k.a. the interception.
That was a good one, Jeremy.
But yeah. So anyway, back to your Buffalo Bills, who beat the shit out of Matt Stafford's new
They
team.
did. I liked everything they did, minus the turnover, was obviously, but the one interception wasn't Josh Allen's fault.
No.
You should have caught it.
That one that bounced up
The one-
Ian
yeah,
McKenzie? Yeah.
you should have caught that.
Or Isaiah McKenzie.
The second one definitely was his fault.
Yeah.
But like you said, Gabe Davis had a monster game, and if that dude can produce like that from week in and week out, and they can it looks like they can run the ball a little bit too. That offense is going to be scary good.
Yep.
If that holds up, I hope. Obviously, for my sake, I hope that does hold up. That would be fantastic. So
Again, the only question I have, and
they sacked Stafford what 7 times? I think it was 6 or 7.
I'd have to look back at it. I think it was.
And they can get after the quarterback now. Dope.
But the only critique I have about the Bills in general is, again, why are you running Josh Allen after you've got that game locked up?
I was not a huge
Outside
fan
of that, I have no like.
So we
that's
did-
a Super Bowl team in my eyes.
Yeah,
after week 1.
I forgot we didn't talk about that on the Tuesday show. Obviously, it was the Sunday show we talked about
Yeah.
that. But I have a big problem with
yeah.
so that running quarterbacks. If they get hit good enough,
Yep.
they're never the same again.
there was no reason for
And-
him to even be in the game at that point.
You're talking about. I know Josh Allen wants to put his head down and run over people. I know he
Yeah.
does, and I'm a big fan of the
stiff
kid.
arm. The stiff arm was beautiful.
It was one of the best stiff
He
arms
is
by a quarterback ever.
so lucky he didn't break his fucking hand though.
But like
That thing was disrespectful. It was awesome.
It was. That's the exact word I used.
and
to
that's one of the
describe it.
reasons why I love Josh Allen, and that's one of the things that makes him, loved by fans and by people, and he's fun to watch. But at a certain point, you got to reel some of that in, and you've
Because you saw
got
what happened to Cam.
Yes.
Cam was the same way.
Cam was the same way, and he was never the same.
Yep. Once he got
rocked.
Yep.
Like he was never the same, and it's one of those things where Cam Newton was as talented as Josh Allen, and yet one hit derailed his career, and he never recovered from that.
Even that one hit, like you see, if you go back and watch the hit that we're talking about, when Cam goes back to try to get the ball, the guy going for the ball at that moment is a completely different player than the one that just took that snap. Like you can see his career change in that moment.
But no, Joe, I agree with you 100%. Frankly, he shouldn't have been in the game at that point anyway.
Right.
Like, just you got the game right though. Just take him out of the game. Put in your backup. Put in Matt Barkley or whoever your backup is now. That's fine. But overall, besides that nonsense,
Yeah.
I loved what they did. I absolutely loved it. And again, hopefully, for my sake, they can keep that going the rest of the season. That would be nice.
So on this game, I just have to read this. So Jalen Ramsey's quote on Josh Allen.
That age,
I think
age like milk. It was great.
I think Josh Allen. This is quote unquote from Jalen Ramsey. I think Josh Allen is trash.
Yep.
I don't care what nobody says. He's trash, and it's gonna show too. That's a stupid draft pick to me. We play them this year, and I'm excited as hell. And let me give you the stats that Josh Allen has had against him in the 3 games he's played against him. He is 3-0. He has 11 TDs. He has a 70% completion percentage, a 9.3 yards per attempt, 60% success rate, and a 6.3 yards per carry versus Jalen Ramsey's teams.
And the way Jalen Ramsey has played the last 2 seasons,
was
you're lucky that's as bad
He was
as it
getting he was
is.
getting cooked that entire game.
Dude, I was watching, and obviously, I'm a Jalen Ramsey fan.
I know that.
When he was with the Jags, I absolutely loved him. I've followed him over to the Rams. Like, I do. I like the guy. He is what is called a has-been at this point. I don't mean to disrespect the dude because at one point he was good.
You see this a lot of times with cornerbacks, or a lot of times it's like Darrelle Revis.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like
Revis Island was deadly
Yeah.
until it wasn't.
and then it's just like from like 1 year,
Yep.
it's done. It's over with.
And on top of that, like, I'll call him straight out. Jalen, go back to the Super Bowl. You were non-existent in the biggest game of your life.
Right.
And then you followed it up being non-existent in a game that you had just spent the entire summer talking shit about.
Now, in fairness to Jalen Ramsey, this past week, he actually did give Josh Allen his props. He goes, "That dude's a monster." It's just
he finally
he did.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
he did. So
good for him.
He did give Josh Allen his props. So I at least I'll give him credit for that.
I also couldn't stand how he was talking shit to Diggs.
Oh, that was great.
He got torched
that was great.
for a fucking touchdown on one play. And Diggs is walking back and he's talking shit. It's like, dude, you just got torched for 40 yards. The fuck are you running your mouth for?
Jeremy says, here is a layup prediction, Super Bowl champs, Buffalo Bills. And I'm going to say,
I don't disagree
have
right now.
I have a clip here of 4 or 5. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different NFL analysts laid out their Super Bowl predictions.
Oh, everybody was picking them.
And the NFC has a bunch. They have Tampa, they have San Francisco, they have Los Angeles, the Rams. They have Dallas, which that one's not
That's not happening.
That's not aging well. Green Bay, but the AFC
Bills
has
Bills.
nothing but the
Bills.
Bills.
Yeah.
Nothing but the Bills.
I saw it
And
on like all the morning shows and stuff like that on Sunday.
It's like we talked about on Sunday and last Tuesday is when we went over all those questions. The NFC has a number of teams that could, because the NFC is not really that good. It's not dominated by a couple of real dominant teams. Like there's some teams that have a real chance in the NFC because it's just not dominant. The AFC has a lot of good teams and one really fucking good one.
You know, after we left here last week, I went home and I watched Hard Knocks. And there was this nice quote at the very end of it. And it's been everywhere. You had to have seen it. The problem is Dan Campbell was talking about the wrong team. I firmly believe this about the Buffalo Bills. They are the team that can and will. Not your Detroit Lions. The Buffalo Bills can and will.
Win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Now you know who else can and will?
At your service by Pat?
Yeah, man. Come on now. Looking to brighten up your home or commercial building? Give At Your Service by Pat a call today at 248-794-0008 for your free estimate. At Your Service by Pat specializes in home and commercial cleaning. Building cleaning, sorry. You guys are laughing and shit. You do my read off, man.
Well, Joe's over here asking questions. I'm like, we only got 3 reads that we got to do. If we've done 2, then yeah, that's
Technically,
what
we got
do.
4.
And I told him he could have fucking answered. Why did it have to be me answering? If you know it, fucking answer.
I was looking at you.
Well, don't fucking look at me.
Talk to my
Stop looking at me, Swan.
before yelling at me. Talk to my lawyer over here.
Let's try this again.
Try it again.
Loud noises.
Looking to brighten up your home or commercial building? Give At Your Service by Pat a call today at 248-794-0008 for your free estimate. At Your Service by Pat specializes in home and commercial building cleaning. Services include roof and house cleaning featuring soft wash, which is a longer-lasting alternative to pressure washing, window cleaning, concrete cleaning, deck and fence restoration, gutter services, and more. So once again, give At Your Service by Pat a call today for your free estimate at 248-794-0008. There you go. Nice. So obviously we've done a lot of NFL talk today, and rightfully
Yes.
so. Let's set up college really
College.
quick because it should be a pretty quick recap.
Hold on. Let me set you up. Because and I got to give him his credit. And Joe knows this because Chris has danced around this for a few days now. He has waited very patiently for this exact moment.
It's like watching a bunch of retards trying to fuck a doorknob.
That is one way to accurately describe that Notre Dame Marshall game. 100%.
Give me what's coming.
I think that soundbite just described it perfectly. I really don't even have to say anything. That's exactly how that played out, 100%. For all the hype that Notre Dame got this year, especially with their new head coach, the recruiting class, etc., to play like that at home against Marshall, and I know Marshall, they're the middle of the road program, whatever.
Yeah, they're coached by Matthew McConaughey.
They're coached by
Matthew
McConaughey.
What I know.
And to do that, and it was just kind of like, are you fucking kidding me?
And they get paid $1.5 million.
And you pay the other team to do it, which is even better. I just hope this, and I obviously, Frank, my hatred for Notre Dame, but I hope this coach actually gets more of a shot than Ty Willingham did.
Oh no! We suck again!
Ty Willingham got screwed at Notre Dame. He got screwed 100%
absolutely.
at Notre Dame. The thing that makes this even better, though, is your old head coach lost to fucking Florida State.
See, that's when I'm okay.
That was great.
Because I'm just watching Brian Kelly, and I'm like, well, at least he loses too. Like, fuck that guy.
And then your team loses.
Yeah, but I honestly don't think either one of you are looking at me like the guy who believed this was a national championship team.
No, we both knew it wasn't.
Right. I think you both were well aware going into the season that I was like, no, this team's overrated as shit.
But I didn't think it was going to be a team that started off 0-2 after looking at that schedule. I figured, you probably lose to Ohio State. Okay.
Yeah, I fully expected
but like the rest,
1-1.
but the rest of your schedule was cake besides SC.
Yeah, we said that about week 2
And
too, though.
speaking of SC's actually looked pretty good. So, I thought for sure they would
And on
possibly
top of
run the
that-
table, get into the fucking playoff, or sneak into the playoff like they seem to do on a fairly yearly basis.
And now you've lost your starting quarterback, and Pine's starting the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And that kid looked fucking awful.
And now your season is flat out. It's down
it's
the drain.
gone.
You're screwed.
That cakewalk schedule, I'm hoping they finish 500.
So I'm not gonna lie, that was actually fun to watch. I did enjoy that. But I didn't want to give you too much shit about it because obviously this shit's happened to my teams too. I get it. It sucks. Joe, you wanna pile on anything?
Nah, I'm good.
Fair enough.
Joe's like, no, he took that very well from you. I'm not going to push my luck.
Quickly on Michigan and Michigan State. Both teams rolled, which was very, very predictable. The only thing to come out of either of these games is Harfraud has finally picked a starting quarterback in J.J. McCarthy, which we all kind of thought was going to happen at some point.
Told you that after the first series of the game.
So, right. He said he picked J.J. based on merit. I'm like, okay.
Based on intelligence.
I mean, if you look at it, it's what I've been saying since day one. He wanted JJ as the starting quarterback. He wanted JJ to do something so that he had the opportunity to name him the starting quarterback without looking like he turned his back on Cade McNamara.
Yep.
And by doing it the way he did it, Cade gets one game, JJ gets another. JJ did enough that he can now look at it and go, well, JJ's our starting quarterback.
I literally had this conversation on Saturday.
Instead of having the cojones
to just pick one.
to just pick JJ and say JJ's our starting quarterback, he had to play this little dance around game and finally then name the starting quarterback that he really wanted to name in the first place.
I just don't understand that he's the starting quarterback moving forward because of merit. I don't get what that merit of what? Like
the merit of him being a better
like
quarterback than Cade?
You smoked Hawaii. Congratulations.
The merit of going out and looking better against Hawaii than Cade McNamara looked against who the fuck did they play last week?
Colorado State. Yeah.
So I mean, like, yeah, okay. If you want to take two dog shit teams and say, all right, one quarterback looked better than the other one. I didn't watch either game. I can only look at the stats.
Yep.
Yeah, one quarterback technically stats wise was better than the other one. But in based on merit against Hawaii,
I don't.
Okay, fine. But again, it's just the fact that Harbaugh was looking for the opportunity.
Oh, absolutely was.
That was his opportunity,
Yep.
and he didn't need much of one because he knew who he wanted to name quarterback in the first place. So the fact that it took him this little game playing to do it tells me it's the same old Harbaugh. Like, what do you do? Make the fucking decision. You're the head coach. Make the decision that's best for your squad.
Nope. That's not his style.
That's why I can't back the guy.
Fair. And now one more. I'm going to talk about Miami for a second. They look like dog shit. If they play anywhere near like they played this past weekend, they're going to get absolutely whomped on by Texas A&M. And I know Texas A&M just lost to Appalachian State. That's not an upset anymore. That's not a huge upset anymore. It's just not.
Yeah, we're talking about a much different
That's
situation.
not a huge
than
upset.
They were
Now,
in fucking 14
App
years
State
ago.
going to Texas A&M and winning that game, is it an upset? Yes.
Oh,
But is it like the earth-shattering upset when they beat Michigan? No, it is not. Absolutely not. So, that being said, regardless of App State beating Texas A&M at Texas A&M in College Station, if Miami plays anywhere near the way they played this past weekend, they're going to get mollywopped. They look like absolute dog shit. And I hate this because I said Tyler Van Dyke, stud. He looked like shit. That dude was late on like every fucking throw he made. Like just late on everything. And what's going to happen if you're late against Texas A&M? Those are going to get picked. Those are absolutely going to get picked. You're not going to get lucky with like an incomplete pass or whatever. Those balls are going to get picked, and it's just not going to end up being a good scene. So hopefully they clean up some of their mistakes. I wasn't thrilled with their defense. They gave up some big plays. Credit to Southern Miss. Their quarterback, they started a freshman quarterback. He actually looked really, really good. And they had this receiver, Brownlee. He's kind of almost like a Calvin Johnson type, a little skinnier than Calvin, but like height-wise, just as tall. Yeah. That dude can make plays. That dude was making plays all day. So I kind of get it. When you got a receiver like that, it is hard to cover him. But your DBs, you got to be aggressive. Go to the ball. You can't just let the ball come to you. Go get it. So hopefully they iron some of that shit out during practice this week, and we shall see. So 9:00 on Saturday. Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Any other college takeaways from the weekend?
Not really.
And I lean to you guys on that one because
Yeah.
I don't end up watching much college football. I see ESPN and the roundups of the games.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Well, I mean, other than kickers, even in college football, they're just absolute,
just as fucking bad?
Fucking bad. It's so bad.
The kicker situation was almost identical in college.
It was.
It was the pros this weekend.
It was absolutely terrible. It really was.
I mean, weeks like this, even, I don't enjoy the Notre Dame outcome specifically, but weeks like this, I love. I love when there's just crazy upsets that are going on.
Right.
Everything's all over the place. Like, yeah, it sucks being on the receiving end of it, but it's just fun football to watch at that point. Like Texas-Bama, what a fucking game that was to watch.
Talk about like a good game with just horrendous officiating.
Yes.
And we've talked about officiating in every sport ad nauseum, so I really don't want to get into it because it's honestly at this point, what else is there to say? Officiating in sports is just I think it's at an all-time worst. It is. It's at its all-time worst. It just flat out is.
If it's not, there is no credible evidence to argue it.
I will say that I was a little impressed this week with NFL.
Really?
Slightly. Now, it doesn't take much to impress me because the NFL's been so bad.
I say it's not exactly a high bar.
It's not. I saw quite a few calls that were made in real time, made with very decisive decisions, and then you saw the replay and you went,
right call.
They got it right.
Yeah.
And
I
there
did
was,
notice that
there
last
was a
night
lot,
with a couple of
there
things.
was a lot more decisiveness in the NFL officiating this weekend that I saw, and they seem to have been getting more right than wrong than they have been. And again, doesn't take much to do that.
Does not.
So I'm gonna give the NFL a slight kudo on, okay, I feel like you've made an attempt with these officials. Let's hope it continues throughout the year.
They have not in college football because I saw so many like egregiously bad calls in college. Like there was one in the Texas Alabama game, the one that the Texas quarterback got injured on, and they called it him for a personal foul for roughing the passer. I'm like, what the hell do you want him to do? It's unfortunate that the quarterback got injured, but it's physics, man. Like what do you want the defender to do?
300-pound man runs at him full speed.
Yeah, what do you want me to do?
It's going to take something to stop him.
He hit him legally.
Right.
And what happens is you guys both fall. You can't launch at him because you're going to call that a penalty.
Right.
So what do you want him to do? Like, so sorry, physics and gravity take over, man. And but they called him for a penalty on
You're
that.
supposed to hit him and then miraculously matrix your body to where you don't fall on top of the quarterback.
It's a point, like, when you go at him, you can't lunge.
No.
But when you propel yourself without fully propelling yourself at them,
You have to fall to the side.
Yeah, you've got to figure out how to just dive off at the last second.
Right.
It's
You know,
stupid.
that's not difficult to do.
No, it's not.
It'd be a fucking miracle.
And obviously the targeting rule in college football, who knows? I have no idea. Not a clue.
I don't think the refs know.
I don't think anybody knows. Like, I really don't.
They just look and go, we'll call that targeting.
Right. Anywho,
Nobody knows.
since we're into the college stuff, let's hit the picks, man.
Do the picks?
Do it.
This segment is brought to you by the Joe Wright Group.
It's time!
All right, Frankie, how did we look last week?
Last week, we are looking everybody right around the 500 mark. You and I are 5-5. Andrew, Joe, 4-6.
Suck it, losers.
So, not all that different. But I will give Joe the props we gave to him before the show started so everybody else can hear. He is also the only person who picked Texas last week to actually have a shot at beating Bama.
You can't brag. I didn't think they had a shot at beating them.
No, I didn't.
I thought they'd be within the 20 points.
Right.
No way did I think they were going to beat them. But you can't take credit for that when you went 4-6 and got some really other ones completely wrong. Some
In
really bad
fairness, we all picked Denver. We all picked the Cowboys.
calls. Yeah.
We all picked Akron. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we were pretty much across the board on a lot of these.
We all picked Hawaii, right?
Except for Andrew.
Yeah,
He
Andrew
took
picked U of
Michigan.
M.
All right, so starting off this week, we got BYU taking on Oregon. Oregon is laying 3.5. Joe.
Go to Frank.
Frank.
We're going to Oregon. I am going to be taking the Ducks.
I am also going to take the Ducks. I saw BYU this past week. I wasn't impressed. I think Oregon, especially after just getting bombed against Georgia, I still think it's got a little sting to it. And the game's at Autzen. Give me the Ducks, minus 3.5.
While Joe is making up his mind over there, I will also inform you guys, Andrew has taken BYU.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. I wasn't fully prepared for this. Give me 1 second, and I will tell you who I'm taking.
Well, we tried to stall.
I know. Keep stalling. Keep
I
stalling.
could call another person. Do you want me to call
was
somebody
it-
and get their picks
can-
for the
can
week?
you-
I'm curious as to see what jersey
So-
combination Oregon wears this week.
Oregon, BYU. Oregon's at home, minus 3.5, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Joe, it's two college
Give me-
teams you
give-
don't like. We're not
give-
asking you to choose between your children.
I know, but I don't want to. I don't want to fail. I only have one child that I know of. I don't want to fail like I did last week on all these picks.
You can't say those things while we're on air. You know I can't help that.
I set you up, and you didn't even You didn't even say anything.
We're recording. I'm not taking the bait.
So I'm
Who'd
gonna
you pick?
I'm gonna take Oregon.
Oregon.
All right.
What'd you guys take? I won't even listen because I
I
was trying
took
to pull up.
Oregon. Frank took Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Andrew,
and
BYU.
took BYU.
Gotcha.
Next up on the slate, we got Penn State laying 3, taking on Auburn. I'm not sure what Auburn is. I know it's obviously it's an SEC team. Blah 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 blah. You know what? Specifically because I fucking despise James Franklin. Give me Auburn.
Taking Auburn.
Yep.
Why do I not have this game on my slate? Are these teams ranked?
I think Penn State is.
Yeah. I will be taking Penn State. Andrew has agreed with you, though, Chris. He will be taking Auburn.
Give me Penn State.
All right. Nice.
That's just a guess.
I said mine's just
I'm not gonna lie.
mine's just purely based on my hatred for James Franklin.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I just don't hate him as much.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah,
Next up, we got Michigan State traveling to Washington to take on the Huskies. Washington is laying 3.5.
I'm taking Sparty on this one.
Yes, I am as well. I'm going to take Michigan State.
Andrew as well.
samesies.
Sparty across the board.
It hurts me.
It does, but
Hey.
talk coming, man. Next up, we got UConn coming to Ann Arbor to take on Michigan. Michigan is laying 47.5. This is easy for me, UConn.
Give me UConn.
If we anything from last week,
Give me UConn.
Michigan doesn't cover, man. When it's that high of a
Nope.
spread, Michigan does not cover.
Nope. Give me UConn.
Kind of the way things work out with Michigan.
Does.
So I will be going with the two of you. We're going UConn, but Andrew will be taking the Wolverines.
Of course.
Like he did last
Like
week.
you did last week.
I'm not going to let him get away. He's a homer when it comes to the Wolverines. He's going to get shitty with me for calling him out on it, but he is.
In the last college game of the week, my Miami Hurricanes are traveling to College Station to take on Texas A&M. Texas A&M is laying 5.
Texas A&M.
I feel like I should be changing my pick based on what you were talking about earlier, but I am going with your Hurricanes.
Wow. I am taking Texas A&M.
I already had you slated in for Texas A&M.
Based off your talk earlier.
We were talking earlier. I was like, I'm gonna just put Texas A&M in here.
They're building. I like what Cristobal is doing down there. It's going to take time. They're not even remotely where they need to be because it's basically the same team as last year. They just have a better head coach.
And Andrew also will be taking Miami.
Oh wow! All right.
Yep. So
we got
we're
split on that.
50-50 on that one.
Nice. Moving on to the NFL. You got any NFL music? No, just this.
Just this.
All right.
Yeah.
First up, we got the Chargers.
It's the same music bet every week.
Fair enough. I didn't know if we had something different.
Same music we've had for like 3 seasons now.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. This is our 3rd season.
Sorry, before that, Javier Baez fucking sucks. Sorry, he just
Yeah.
ground ball literally hit right to him, and he just boots it. Anyways, we're going to the we're going to the division of death. The Chargers are taking on the Chiefs, with Kansas City laying 4.5 at Arrowhead.
You know what? I made this mistake last week. I'm not going to do it again. Give me KC. They seem to get it done, man. I just don't. That team just gets it done. Patrick Mahomes has like 3 guys like you and me to throw the ball to, and he still gets it. And Travis Kelce still got open, even though everyone knew he was going to be the guy they were throwing the ball to. 9 targets, 8 catches, 120 some yards, and a touchdown. Like they get it done.
You know, talking the overreactions, I am so excited to watch that rematch take place in the AFC Championship when you have
Kansas City
and
Buffalo.
and Buffalo. Like both of those teams just look
And the new overtime rules.
You're gonna have a replay of last year, except we're gonna have the right rules now.
I'm going to take the Chargers, getting the 4.5.
I will also be taking the Chargers along with Andrew.
Next up,
Can I change it? I'm kidding. I'll take it.
no, I think you're good.
I mean, it's in ink, so
Well,
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, we're done then.
It's in computer ink.
It's too late.
Next up, we got the Dolphins traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Baltimore is laying 3.5.
give me the Ravens.
Frank, I'm with you. Give me the Ravens.
Man.
If you
In
need to
Baltimore.
if you need to be influenced, Andrew is going with the Dolphins.
It doesn't really influence me. I'm really torn on this one. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to take a flyer on the Dolphins as well. They may lose this game, but I think it'll be by a last-second field goal, and I think we'll end up winning there, in my opinion. But we'll see.
I'm not sold on them yet. I know they played
get it.
well, but it just
I get it.
I need to see more before I start buying into Tua.
Which is why I'm torn on making the pick. I agree.
But yeah, I wouldn't think it's insanity if they do end up winning. Like,
Next up, Jets, Browns. Browns are laying 6. This is easy for me. Give me the Browns.
Give me the Jets.
Wow. All right.
Joe is the only one who does not take Cleveland.
Fair. I think
I'm not saying Cleveland's not going to win.
I think Cleveland's going to run the ball all over. The Browns the Jets aren't even going to get the freaking ball.
Again, I'm not saying Cleveland's going to win. I mean, Cleveland's not going to win. I'm not saying the Jets are going to win. But 6 points, I don't know. I don't see that.
You don't see them being a touchdown. And
I don't see the Browns with the offense they're going to run being a touchdown better than anybody they're going to play until Brissett's not the quarterback. They're going to play a run game. They're going to grind it out, and teams are going to be able to kind of stay in the game with them. They're not going to rout the score. So that's why I'm going that way.
Next up, Arizona taking on the Raiders. The Raiders are laying 6.
The Raiders.
The homer pick. Give me the Raiders.
Go.
Give me the Raiders. The Cardinals look like dog shit.
I just wasn't impressed by them.
Not at all. Not at all. And I know Ertz was a little bit banged up. He still had a decent game. By all intents and purposes, wasn't great, but he was banged up. Marquise Brown, I'm not sold on that team. He looks like the same receiver on a different team. Like, it's just not he's not a go-to receiver in the NFL. He's just not. He's not a number one guy.
On top of not being able to hold on to the ball.
Well, he actually made a spectacular catch that I saw this week. I was like, wow, holy shit, you actually caught the ball.
He catches the impossible ones.
It's the ones that are just the normal catches that he doesn't.
It's like throwing from me to you, where he's like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, and part of that game was the Chiefs being the Chiefs, but I just didn't see much from Arizona that makes me want to take them in any games.
Yep. Chris.
Give me the Raiders as well.
Okay. Andrew will be taking the Cardinals.
I don't see anybody on that team who's gonna be able to stop Devontae Adams. I just don't.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know that there is anybody who can stop Devontae Adams.
Fair. Next up, we got the Commanders versus the Lions. The Lions are laying 2.5.
give me the Washington football team.
Is this the first time in our 2 seasons?
I can't remember a time that the Lions actually were laying points. I honestly can't.
I can't either.
Wow. I'm sorry, Chris. Who did you pick?
I haven't picked anybody yet. I was waiting for you to pick.
I took the Washington football team.
Okay. I, as well, am taking the Washington football team. Andrew will be taking the Fighting Lions, though.
I'm taking the Redskins.
I love hope.
Hold on. I'm putting everything in as stated.
As stated.
Football team.
Well, this is awkward.
Red
Nice.
Skins. I have the Commanders, so we have covered all of them.
All right.
Okay.
Next up, Bears, Packers. Packers are laying 9.5.
I'm taking the Bears.
Okay.
I'm just going off of the teams I watched play on Sunday, and
You know what?
I wasn't impressed by Green Bay.
I'm with you. Give me the Bears.
Quebec, go ahead.
I'm taking the Packers because I think this is a get-right game.
I didn't do it to you this time, Frank.
I know. I was very surprised.
I think this is a kind of like what happened last year. The Packers got beat down in the first game of the season. They come back the second game of the season. They kind of iron out some kinks. I know it's a little bit different because you got some young guys that you're throwing to now. And I honestly think that game against Minnesota is a completely different game. That dumbass catches that bomb. That's a walk-in touchdown.
Oh, Christian Watson?
Yes.
Their second-round draft pick? Yeah.
That's a completely different game. That dude catches that pass.
Yeah.
So I think.
Did you see Aaron Rodgers, the look on his face after
he was like, you got to be fucking
He looked over to the
kidding me."
sideline and went,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like it happens again.
Like, I've never thrown that dude the ball again. If that,
Aaron Rodgers is like, yeah, I only came back because you told me I was going to have Devontae, and then you traded Devontae as soon as I agreed to come back. So
The look on Aaron Rodgers' face after he dropped that was like, you might as well just put him on the bench.
Yeah, 'cause
I'm not throwing the ball.
never
I'm
gonna
not
throw him
throwing
again.
the ball to him again.
So, but I do think that would have been a completely different game had he made that catch. That being said, I think this is I think they'll kind of work on some shit in practice, whatever. Kind of get in timing with your new receivers, young receivers, whatever.
Yep.
I know it's a huge spread, and I know it's a rivalry game.
That's such a large spread for
It
me
is.
that I like.
But Aaron Rodgers does own the fucking Bears, dude. He does.
he does, but I just don't see them being 9.5 points better.
I don't give me the Packers.
See, and to me, this line is almost enticing people to take the Bears, which makes me think Vegas knows something. Like, it's so off balance in my mind that I'm like, wow, maybe I should take the Packers.
There's
but
some fucking,
I feel like it's like the line, the Denver-Seattle line. That from last week, it was like
Yeah.
6.5.
What do they know
This is
that we
like-
don't know?
Okay.
Right. Man,
Like, I felt that was low for that game.
yeah.
But whatever. But yeah, give me the Packers. I think all three of you took the Bears.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next up,
boys.
Tennessee and Buffalo. Buffalo's laying 10.
I'm taking the Bills, man. I don't care that it's 10 points. I kind of alluded to this earlier. I think they're going to stomp the shit out of Tennessee.
Give me Tennessee in a bounce back game for Tennessee, in a fallback game for Buffalo after that opening weekend. Not saying Buffalo's not going to win. Not saying they're not going to look good. I'm saying they're going to come back down to planet Earth a little bit, and Tennessee's going to play a little bit better than they did, which they look like dog shit. Give me the 10 points.
Joe, I'm with you on that one. You've seen these Buffalo-Tennessee games in recent history. They're close games.
Yeah.
They are. Buffalo has a hard time stopping Derrick Henry. They just do.
Yep.
Yeah, give me Tennessee getting the 10.
Okay. Bills for myself, Bills for Andrew.
Okay. And the final game of our slate here is Minnesota taking on Philadelphia. Philadelphia's laying 2.5.
This one's tough.
It is tough.
I got the Eagles covering.
I love both these teams this year. I really do. I think both offenses. I mean, all right, we talked about it on the Sunday show. Both these receivers went off just exactly like I fucking said they would. These quarterbacks aren't looking anywhere else, and
They're still getting open,
and nobody can cover these guys. I mean,
AJ Brown had a huge game. Jefferson had a huge game. Yeah.
You know what?
I think it's going to go the opposite way this week, though.
And both teams. Well, Devontae's going to get his.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think this is going to be a Devontae week.
I don't think. So they're always going to, like, AJ's going to be the guy.
Right.
Right? Devontae will not go catchless.
No, he won't.
In games all the time. It's just not going to happen. He's too good for that. And they're going to end up starting to scheme him in ways, right?
But I will give props to Okuda. You did shut him down. The guy's been ass. I'll give him the credit. You shut him down.
Yeah.
Who'd you take?
Nobody yet. I'm thinking. I'm trying to talk myself into a pick.
That's why I'm sitting here talking about the Lions, hoping he'll make up his mind.
Well, you guys haven't picked yet.
I'm going Eagles.
Yeah, Frank took the Eagles.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
Andrew took the
You?
Eagles as well.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? Give me Minnesota. Detroit ran all over that fucking defense. I think Minnesota's going to do the same exact thing. And then you got to stop Justin Jefferson. I know it's at Philly, and that's a tough place to win. I get it. Yeah, give me Minnesota.
You know what? I'm going to go Minnesota as well.
All right.
Yep.
I feel like I need the button for the Jeopardy music when Joe's
Oh,
doing
yeah,
picks.
right. Hold on. Give me a second.
Hey, can we talk to our audio guy? Can he get me a button?
And those
Hold on. Right there.
those are the week 2 picks.
All right.
Nice. Frankie, got all that down?
I got all of it.
Nice. So,
That's what she said.
Nice. I feel like it just clicked. Nice. I feel like after doing those picks, we've earned a drink, something, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
All right, motherfuckers, let's take a timeout and taste this.
So
It's like the longest fucking pour.
it is the longest pour. Jesus. For this taste testing,
Filling up Das Boot over here.
we have
You can speak over the pour. You can. It's just background.
We have from Arvon Brewing Company. We have a peach cobbler.
Really?
Aardvark?
Arvon.
Arvon.
Yeah.
Aardvark.
From Arvan down by the river.
It is
From our van down by the river.
It is an ale.
Okay.
You're an ale.
And you're an a-hole.
I said today my new.
You got it. You got the Frank look. You got the Frank look.
I said today at work. I said my
That
new.
made no fucking sense.
It doesn't. But I said today at work. I said my new thing is just going to be insulting people with like the most insane insults that don't make any sense. Like when somebody says, "Yeah, I'm going to go get lunch," and you're like, "You're a fucking lunch," or yeah. I got to get this paperwork. You're fucking paperwork.
Funny story. I do that to Allison all the time. All the time.
Either
All the
that.
time.
Like it's just my new thing. I'm like, I'm just going to keep doing it. I don't fucking know why.
All the time.
I also enjoy randomly throwing in, yeah, well, your mom.
That's yeah.
I got homework to do. Yeah, well, your mom. What?
I like that. That's funny.
No fucking reason at all.
That's always my comeback.
But yes,
when people ask me
I do that to Allison all the time.
Your mom is always my comeback when people ask me what I'm doing on the weekend. Like, what do you got going on this
Your
weekend?
mom.
Your mom.
Yeah.
And I did just verify with Dave, we cannot trade the draft money anymore.
Ooh, okay. Noted.
Yeah. All right.
Like I
right.
said, we pulled it off one year, and I fucking pissed everyone off doing it.
Yeah, I get it. All right, we ready to do this?
Yes.
Let's do this.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Salute.
Cheers.
Salute.
Oh, I'm not sure I'm going to like this.
Wow.
Wow. That is strong.
That is strong.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you really taste the peach cobbler in that bitch.
Yep, you do.
I feel like you blended up a peach cobbler and just in a blender and just gave me a cup of actual peach cobbler blended up.
With alcohol.
That was
actually not bad.
That was really good. So I smelled it first, which sometimes it's your worst thing to do. Don't
you
smell
like it, Frank?
first.
Yeah, I just went back for a second taste.
I told you might like it.
Yeah, it's.
Hey, Mikey, he likes it.
It is
Hey,
not to jump you guys in
no,
this,
go
but
ahead.
Don't ever jump me, please.
you have my word. I will never do it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
The initial sip is like, okay, this tastes like beer.
Right.
And as soon as that's gone, I'm like, holy shit, this is really fucking good.
That cobbler like punches you right in the face. It's like, holy shit.
I don't love it right off the rip,
Yeah.
but as it sits with you, it's really fucking
That's
good.
that's actually not bad. I'm not generally a fan of fruity beers. I'm just not. But that is actually not bad.
I'm with you. I'm the same with although some of the orange ones I really do like the tangerine ones.
The blood orange and tangerine
Yeah.
stuff. Tangerine Space Machine, delicious.
Yeah,
That's really good. Yes.
This
But yeah, some of the
this
blood
is
orange.
fucking amazing.
This is
actually.
very
It
tasty.
is very good.
Like I taste it tastes like I actually ate some peach cobbler. Mm-hmm. Like it's that good of a, and you don't usually find like the beers that are flavored. You don't find that they taste identical to the flavor they're supposed to. You know what I mean? Like you're not like, oh, that really tastes like a real orange. I feel like I just ate an orange.
Yeah.
This is fucking amazing. This tastes exactly like I just ate peach cobbler.
This is absolutely tasty. I'm gonna give it a 3.9.
I'm gonna give it a 4.4.
All right.
That is remarkably fucking yummy.
It is remarkably fucking yummy. I don't disagree with you.
I'm going to go a little bit higher than you guys on this one just because of how much I traditionally hate these things.
Yeah, you don't like beer.
Right.
Yeah.
But because of the taste, I don't see many beers being better than this. I'm going to give it a 4.7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
But again, that's coming from somebody who doesn't drink
Right.
beer.
Yeah. So you're grading on your
Right.
scale, which makes sense. That's
Like we are just so close that it's like hot summer day. If that's available, I might grab that instead.
I mean that is
The only reason why I'm giving it a 3.9 is because I could only drink one of them.
Oh yeah.
No,
There's no
yeah.
way you can have more than one.
you're
of those.
not going to drink a ton of those.
No.
But on like
If I could drink more of them, I would easily give it like a 4.1 or 4.2.
Yeah, but see something that sweet you can't.
Right.
And that's
You
going to
can't.
be filling too.
That's exactly why I'm not giving it a 4.
Yeah.
That right there on a cool on a
cool night.
On a cool night.
Yeah.
I was
Where you're
saying,
sitting
night
by,
like this,
where
you
you're
just
sitting
go
by
sit
a
on the
fire.
porch.
Now,
Hell
on
yeah.
a cool night, I could drink a couple of them. Yes.
Yeah.
But on a hot day, no.
No, I'm talking
On a hot
like-
day, that would still be delicious, but you're right. One would probably be the limit. But it's fucking good. That's probably the best beer we've tasted on the show.
I think it's.
I
yeah,
would agree with that.
It's well.
I think we know you would.
Hands down, 100% agree.
Yeah.
No,
it's,
I love the hoppy beer, same as you do, Chris.
yeah.
But to me, that's still
That
the
was
best.
good.
That's the
That
best
was real
flavored beer we've tasted.
It's hard to disagree with that. So
Just because I'm really interested to hear your take. You want to get into the AEW stuff?
yeah. Do the
Yeah. First of all, this was brought to you by Time Out. Whether you're having drinks with friends or just want something fun and different to listen to, take a time out with Steve and Scott, presented by Bald Man Entertainment. And Bald Man Entertainment just recently did the St. Hubert Festival, did a great job out there. We got a couple photos of Steve from Bald Man doing the entertainment tent there. So it was great. Steve. But Time Out with Steve and Scott is drinking, jokes, wrestling, movies, memories, and so much more. Every show they taste and sample different drinks and foods, like when they play Jelly Bean Roulette, which sometimes goes very bad, which is very great for all of us if you're listening and or watching. That's Time Out with Steve and Scott, presented by Bald Man Entertainment. Look them up on YouTube or at timeoutpodcastwss.com, and be sure to follow them on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
nice.
Also, I want to give a happy birthday shout out to one of our famous followers, Chris Hansen. It's his birthday today.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Chris Hansen.
Happy birthday, buddy. All right,
Chris,
so,
come take a seat. I'd like
yeah,
to talk to you about some stuff.
right. Before we get out of here, I want to hit like Frank. You just brought it up before the read. This AEW stuff, and for wrestling fans out there,
Yes, we
you
talked-
obviously know what's going on with this AEW stuff. But
Yes, we said we were going to get into it.
Now, I do want to ask first, Joe, are you caught up on all of this? Have you paid attention to any of this? What do you know?
So I know there was a scuffle backstage between CM Punk and some other wrestlers. I've been reading about what happened, and at this point, I heard that CM Punk tore a muscle in the fight.
No, not in the fight. He tore it in the match.
Oh, before that
night. But yeah,
the clip that I read said that he possibly tore it in the fight, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But apparently, some people are saying it's still a work.
If this is a work, this is the greatest work ever.
Yeah, but I would like you to explain. I'm sure you know way more than we do at this point. You follow wrestling more than we do. I'd like you to explain what we're talking about, and then we can talk about it.
And I'm not very up on the AEW stuff, besides what I've read.
To steal the word from our Sunday show, CM Punk is an enigma. He's a very strange guy. So backstage...
So basically another word for asshole.
Yeah.
Yep. He's off-putting.
His WWE career went one way, and fans were like, that's bullshit. We wanted this. They didn't want that. It's all, Vince's fault. And now I'm starting to realize that maybe Vince was just out ahead of things, because now Punk's gone to the other company, and he's bigger pain in the ass over there.
And it's the same shit?
Yeah. So, from what the story that I've read basically lays out, is you go back to March, April, somewhere right in that time frame, and Adam Hangman Page cut a promo calling CM Punk out. And it was not part of the show. It was just done completely off script.
He went into business for himself.
They call it going into business for yourself. Punk decided after that match, well, he didn't decide, but he got hurt, and after that match, he disappeared for a little bit. Now he's come back. They unified the titles. And I guess he felt like after unifying the titles was the appropriate time to address some long-standing rumors he has with a wrestler named Colt Cabana, which the Bucks supposedly have been talking to your internet personalities about him and blaming CM Punk for the reason, or saying CM Punk's the reason he's no longer employed there. Which, they did. They had a lawsuit. It was a whole to-do. It's been done, I want to say almost close to 10 years. Like, it's done. Shit's been done with for long enough that it should have been forgotten about. But as Punk came back, these conversations started coming up. So Punk went out, and it's all over YouTube if you want to watch it. It's the all-out press conference. Punk just lays into everyone. And it's a real bad look because Tony Khan, who, we talked about him with the Jaguars. His father's the owner of the Jaguars. He just sits there. He doesn't say nothing about nothing. He lets Punk rip his entire EVP staff. Lets him rip everybody who's helping him run this thing, and just sits there and just quietly he's nodding his head. Like he doesn't even step up and say, hey, these are his opinions. I'm going to let him talk, but this isn't how we feel as a company.
Right.
He just sat there and let Punk talk shit about everyone. So after the press conference was over, I guess Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks decided to go to the locker room, and that's where the reports get funny. Supposedly, according to some, they beat down the door. According to some, they just knocked on the door. Some way, somehow, they went into the locker room, whether it was being allowed in or forcing their way in. A fight broke out between CM Punk and Ace Steel, who's CM Punk's number one guy, and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Ace Steel apparently hit Nick Jackson in the head with a chair. And this, we're not talking like a chair shot on TV. He knocked him out with a steel chair. Turned around and bit Kenny Omega, who supposedly was just in there trying to save CM Punk's dog.
Yes, I read that. I'm like, all right.
Right. And I throw that in because that's being reported everywhere as well.
Yep.
And then CM Punk and Matt Jackson just, I guess, beat the holy hell out of each other. And all of them are gone now. And not fired. They're all suspended. They've stripped all of them of all their titles and just said, get the fuck out of here.
Including Punk at this point?
Punk's, yeah. They don't know, from what the internet personalities are talking, they don't think Punk will be back. But I really don't think you'll get a fair decision on CM Punk until the injury's healed. I don't think Tony will fire him while he's injured. But yeah, that's That's kind of the gist of what I've gotten.
All right, then. I mean, if nothing else, this has brought your promotion, like, significant publicity, which I think they now need.
If we're talking no press is bad press, they're fucking knocking it out of the park
Right.
now.
But again, I think
Right.
they now need this because of what Triple H is doing with WWE and making that an actual bearable fucking product to watch now.
But you've also got the Bucks, whose contract runs out at the beginning of 2024.
Right.
Kenny's contract, which is supposed to be done, I believe, in February.
Yep.
So you've got, the EVPs of this company, the guys who created this company,
Yep.
who are now supposedly toying around with WWE again as an idea. And they all...
Explain what EVP means.
Executive Vice President.
Okay.
Basically, you helped create the thing. We give you some sort of title.
Yeah.
You get paid. But
They
you're also gonna,
basically get residuals off the other
right.
fucking
But then
reviews and shit.
they also have
TV
more
money.
responsibilities backstage and all that shit.
TV money, all that shit.
Yeah. But Kenny's a funny situation because he's coming off of an injury. Vince used to do this to wrestlers all the time. They extend their contracts. So for the period of time they were hurt, they add on to the back end of your deal. So they're saying Kenny and the Bucks in 2024 will be all free agents. And they told Triple H outright, if he was the one running things when they were free agents the last time, they probably would have. And they said because it was Vince, they didn't want to work with Vince. They started their own thing.
Yeah,
So,
Vince sent that company back so far.
Yeah, he absolutely
you
did.
even look at what Hunter's done just now.
Yeah.
In the month and a half, 2 months he's been in charge.
Yep.
I mean, look at all the guys he's brought back and look at how crazy people are going.
Yep.
I mean, fucking Braun Strowman's been gone for almost a year and a half at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And people were more excited to see him than they were Goldberg when Goldberg came back.
Right. But and that's why, honestly, that's why I've actually started to watch WWE again, is because Trips knows what he's doing. That was a hell of a catch by Riley Green. Holy shit. But yeah, that's literally the only reason why I started watching it again, because the dude gets it. I like how he's booking things. Is there some things I would get rid of? Yes, there is. I said that women's division is a fucking joke.
Right, yeah.
It's terrible
It is right now.
It's absolutely terrible.
And even with what they've done, and it's no offense because I'm a big Dakota Kai fan, but that time she was off, she's come back, and her and EO are doing
Both
that
of them
tag
look
team.
terrible.
I
can't. I'm sorry.
I would have never put the belts on them last night after that match.
I can't look at those two and be like, yeah, this is a legitimately good tag team, and this is who your champions should be. Are you serious?
EO can go. I've
but it's like
seen her
when
go.
she does her like kicks and stuff like that, I'm like, this isn't believable. It doesn't. I don't believe that you're actually hurting somebody doing this like I'm supposed to.
And Dakota is at this point, and it's driving me nuts because it's the one thing I can't stand in wrestling. Stop being so concerned about where you're supposed to be all the time.
Right.
Just be where you're supposed to be, or make it look like you're where you're supposed to be.
Right.
She will go to one side of the ring and do something, and then slide to the other side because she's supposed to be over there for the next spot.
Right.
It's like your matches aren't making sense. Nope. So, yeah, I would definitely agree with you. The women's division has taken a huge hit.
Yes.
From Vince.
But that's all I got on that. So
yeah, it's honestly we're turning into WCW again. That's all it is.
Well, and they're going to run themselves, and they were set to truly compete with WWE, and
Nobody wanted to acknowledge it, but they were.
No, they were, and they were actually doing better because Vince had run WWE into the ground so much that he had screwed it up so much that they were doing really well. And they're going to make the same mistakes that WCW did and run themselves.
Too much talent, or like too much.
You signed
everybody.
Right. Too much money going out, not enough coming in. Too many big talents on the roster to actually manage them properly, to actually put talent reigns together, to actually put together good matches because you have too much going on. There's too many big names there. Like, you have to have a roster that you can manage the talent of.
And you get into that funny position that WWE was in for such a long time where you end up having to have 3-man tag match or 6-man tag matches. It's like, well, I've got these 3 stars who are faces and these 3 stars who are heels. Well, I don't have anything for all of them, but everybody wants to see all 6 of them, so let's just have them wrestle each other for no fucking reason.
Right.
Like, I get it, But AEW has taken a step in that direction already, and you're only around for going on 3 years. Like,
Right.
You can't, you can afford it. You have the checkbook to afford it.
Right.
But creatively, you can't afford to be that lazy with your booking right now.
Right.
So.
Yep, I agree. All right. Anything else, boys?
No, nothing.
All right. Brings us to an end of this week's show. Give us a like, a share, and a follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts on your favorite or least favorite podcast provider. As always, check out SOTDET.com, check out our shop, and buy a Red Hooded sweatshirt.
Red Hooded sweatshirt.
Once again, that's SOTDET.com. Click on shop. Also click on, we have the fantasy rankings there.
Have you guys watched that video at this point, or am I still doing this and you two have no fucking clue?
I know what you're doing.
Okay.
I just haven't downloaded it. I want you to
I
do
have
it.
absolutely no idea what you're doing.
Oh, it's an old Sandler
Adam-
bit from
Adam
Saturday
Sandler.
Night Live.
That's probably why I have no idea what you're doing.
He literally
Okay.
sings an entire song about his
Yeah.
red hooded sweatshirt.
Oh, no, you showed me the video
Yeah.
of that. Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's right.
So again, SOTDET.com. Check out shop. Check out the fantasy rankings. Check out our show picks from Tuesdays. And then again, tune in on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. for Sports on Tap Detroit Game Day, where we bring you all the games for Sunday. We go through them one at a time, bring you our betting advice, which after this week you might not want to take.
Hey, we prefaced it before we gave him betting advice on
we did.
Sunday.
Chris was very good about
I
that.
was very, I was very cognizant of that. I said, hey, you know, do what you want with your money, but don't blame us if you lose.
And it was great because it was like my shit finally all got worked out. So I was like, oh, cool. My pay finally came through. I can afford to gamble a little bit. Should not have gambled.
But we also give you fantasy advice, which this last week on the show, we were pretty damn good on our fantasy advice.
I mean, in our league, you were the second highest total. I was the third highest total. And
Yep.
just unfortunately had to play the first highest total.
It happens. In one of my leagues, I lost by that last second bullshit missed field goal that they made that kicker kick, and I got -1 point for it, and I lost by like half a point. I was winning up until that kick missed.
Jesus.
So yeah, and also in my work league, I was the third highest score and lost to one of the only two teams I would have lost to.
Yep,
it's fucking
that's
amazing.
exactly how it worked out for me.
But yes, we do give great fantasy advice on that show. Sundays, tune in 10:30 a.m. We usually go until about 12:15. We cover all the games on Sunday and also that Monday night game. So tune in Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Sports on Tap Detroit Game Day. On behalf of Chris and Frank, I'm Joe. We are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye, have a great time.
No! God! Bye, guys.
No, 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 no.
Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
And you were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I have ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.